When we talk about burning fat fast, most people imagine complicated diets, extreme workouts, or routines that feel impossible to follow. But the truth is, the body already knows how to burn fat efficiently when we stop working against it. Fat loss is not about suffering. It's about understanding the natural rhythms of your hormones, your metabolism, and your daily habits. When you learn how to create the right internal environment, the body begins to unlock stored fat on its own. This isn't about chasing the newest trend or forcing yourself into exhaustion. It's about tapping into simple, powerful principles that your physiology responds to immediately. Fat burning becomes faster not because you push harder, but because you remove the barriers that have been slowing your progress for years. And once you understand these core mechanisms, you stop fighting your biology and start working with it, allowing fat loss to become not only achievable, but sustainable, natural, and surprisingly simple. Stabilizing insulin levels is one of the most fundamental yet overlooked steps in accelerating fat loss, because insulin acts as the body's primary storage hormone, dictating whether your body burns stored energy or locks it away. When insulin remains elevated throughout the day, the body stays in storage mode, making it nearly impossible to access fat as a fuel source. Many people assume that fat loss is only about calories, but your hormones, especially insulin, play a far bigger role in determining how your metabolism behaves. When insulin drops to a stable, lower range, your body naturally switches to burning stored fat for energy. And this shift can happen more quickly than most people realize once the daily habits that raise insulin are minimized. The reason stabilizing insulin is such a fast trigger for fat loss is that it removes the biochemical roadblocks that keep fat locked inside your cells. The modern lifestyle constantly pushes insulin up through frequent snacking, sugary drinks, hidden sugars, and processed foods, and even a habit of eating from morning to night, without giving the body any rest from digestion. Each time you eat, especially carbohydrates or sugary foods, insulin rises to manage the incoming nutrients. And if this happens repeatedly throughout the day, the hormone never gets a chance to fall. Over time, this creates an environment where your body is constantly instructed to store energy, not release it. By simply reducing the number of insulin spikes, the body begins to regain the flexibility to switch between burning glucose and burning fat. Stabilizing insulin does not require extreme dieting or harsh restrictions. It begins with understanding how often you eat, what you eat, and how your body responds to those patterns. One powerful way to stabilize insulin is to eliminate unnecessary grazing. Many people have been taught that eating small meals frequently boosts metabolism, but in reality, this often keeps insulin elevated all day long. When you create distinct eating windows and allow longer gaps between meals, insulin gets the opportunity to fall naturally. In these lower insulin periods, fat burning accelerates because the body must tap into stored energy to sustain itself. Even small adjustments, such as replacing snacks with water, herbal tea, or black coffee, can produce meaningful changes because they reduce the number of hormonal spikes your body experiences. These changes don't require dieting. They simply modify the timing of your eating, allowing your metabolism to reset to its natural rhythm. The quality of food also plays a major role in stabilizing insulin. Foods rich in refined sugars and processed carbohydrates cause sharp rises in blood sugar, which then trigger larger insulin responses. When these foods are minimized and replaced with whole nutrient-dense options like vegetables, proteins, healthy fats, and high-fiber foods, insulin responses become more controlled. Fiber in particular slows digestion and steadies blood sugar, resulting in smoother insulin curves throughout the day. Protein helps regulate appetite, reduces cravings, and prevents overeating, all of which indirectly stabilize insulin by preventing large surges of glucose entering the bloodstream. Healthy fats, contrary to outdated ideas, have a minimal impact on insulin and can keep you satisfied for longer periods, reducing the impulse to snack. Another factor that influences insulin is stress. When stress levels rise, cortisol increases, and this hormone can indirectly elevate insulin by driving blood sugar higher. Chronic stress keeps the body in a state of heightened alert, and this can disrupt hunger cues, increase cravings for high-sugar foods, and make fat loss more challenging. Techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or even short daily walks can help lower cortisol. And when cortisol decreases, insulin becomes easier to manage. Similarly, Sleep plays a role because poor sleep disrupts hormonal regulation, including insulin sensitivity. When the body is rested, the hormonal system becomes more balanced, and this leads to more stable insulin levels throughout the day. Hydration is another surprisingly influential factor. Dehydration can impair metabolic processes, slow digestion, and trigger hunger signals even when the body is not truly hungry. Drinking water consistently throughout the day can support the body's natural metabolic functions and reduce the likelihood of unnecessary snacking, which in turn prevents excess insulin spikes. Even simple habits like starting the morning with water instead of sugary drinks or avoiding sweetened beverages during meals can make a noticeable difference in stabilizing insulin. Ultimately, stabilizing insulin is not about perfection, but about consistency. Every reduction in unnecessary snacking, every whole food meal, every well-rested night, and every moment of reduced stress contributes to a hormonal environment that favors fat burning. Insulin responds predictably to daily habits. And once those habits shift toward balance, the body begins to work with you rather than against you, making fat loss feel smoother, faster, and more natural than most people ever experience. Short daily fasting windows trigger powerful fat-burning signals because they give the body the one thing it rarely gets in the modern world, a break from constant energy intake. When you stop eating for a defined period each day, insulin levels gradually fall. And this drop gives your body permission to switch from storing energy to releasing energy. Most people go through the day in a constant fed state, eating breakfast, snacks, lunch, more snacks, dinner, and late-night foods. This pattern keeps insulin elevated and prevents your body from tapping into stored fat. A daily fasting window interrupts this cycle and forces your metabolism to re-engage its natural ability to access fat. Even short windows like 14 to 18 hours are enough to activate these internal mechanisms. And the body responds remarkably fast once the digestion system gets a chance to rest. The first major shift that happens during a fasting window is the drop in glucose availability. As food intake stops, your body begins using the circulating glucose already in the bloodstream. And once that's used, it transitions to glycogen stored in the liver. When glycogen becomes depleted, your body has no choice but to turn to stored fat for energy. This is the moment when fat burning kicks in. The switch doesn't require extreme bans or complex diet rules. It's simply the body returning to its natural metabolic design. Fasting gives your system a structured time frame to activate this transition daily. And with each fasting cycle, the body becomes more efficient at accessing and using stored fat as fuel. Another important effect of short fasting windows is the improvement in insulin sensitivity. When you allow your body time without constant food intake, your cells reset their response to insulin. This makes the hormone work more effectively, meaning your body needs less insulin to manage the same amount of glucose. Lower insulin means more fat-burning potential. People often underestimate how quickly the body can respond to these changes. Even a few days of consistent fasting windows can lead to noticeable improvements in hunger control, energy stability, and metabolic clarity. The goal is not to starve, but to give your body the space to regulate itself. The simplicity of fasting is what makes it powerful because it creates a hormonal environment where fat loss becomes a default setting rather than an uphill struggle. Fasting windows also influence hunger hormones, particularly ghrelin, which is responsible for signaling hunger. When you structure your eating into a daily window, ghrelin learns to rise only during those times, reducing unnecessary hunger throughout the day. Many people fear fasting because they assume hunger will become unbearable. But the opposite often happens. The body adapts quickly, hunger becomes more predictable, and cravings decrease because insulin is no longer spiking all day long. This stabilization of hunger patterns helps prevent overeating and reduces emotional snacking, both of which play major roles in fat accumulation. Over time, the body begins to feel lighter, digestion becomes smoother, and energy levels improve because the system is no longer overburdened by constant food intake. Daily fasting windows also help reduce inflammation, which is closely linked to obesity and slow metabolism. When the body is constantly digesting food, it has less time for cellular repair, detoxification, and recovery. Fasting provides that opportunity. During fasting periods, The body activates autophagy, a natural cleansing process where it clears out damaged cells and regenerates healthier ones. This process supports fat burning by improving metabolic tissue quality and reducing the internal stress that makes fat loss harder. The clearer and healthier your cells are, the easier it becomes for your body to mobilize fat. This is why many people notice improvements not just in weight, but also in mental clarity, skin quality, digestion, and overall well-being when they adopt daily fasting windows. Short fasting windows also simplify the way you approach food. Instead of thinking about what to eat at every hour, you gain freedom by knowing when to eat. This structure naturally limits unnecessary snacking and emotional grazing, which eliminates countless hidden calories that spike insulin. The simplicity of an eating window helps bring awareness to portion sizes, food quality, and eating patterns. People often find they make better food choices naturally because the window encourages more intentional eating. And when you eat with awareness, your body digests more efficiently, feels satiated more easily, and maintains steadier energy levels. Another fat-burning benefit of fasting windows is their positive effect on growth hormone, a hormone that plays a key role in metabolism, muscle preservation, and fat loss. Growth hormone rises significantly during fasting periods, helping the body maintain lean muscle while using fat as fuel. This means you can burn fat without worrying about losing muscle mass, which is a common concern during weight loss efforts. The preservation of muscle further increases metabolic rate, making your body burn more calories even at rest. This creates a compounding effect where daily fasting windows not only trigger fat burning, but also support a stronger, more efficient metabolism. Short fasting windows don't have to be extreme to be effective. Even small adjustments, such as delaying breakfast or finishing dinner earlier, can create meaningful metabolic changes. The key is consistency because your body thrives on predictable patterns. When you follow a daily fasting window, your hormones align, your energy stabilizes, and your metabolism becomes primed for fat-burning mode. Many people find that fasting becomes easier over time, turning into a natural rhythm rather than a forced discipline. The body adapts quickly and responds with increased mental sharpness, better appetite control, and improved metabolic flexibility. Through these shifts, daily fasting windows become one of the fastest, simplest, and most natural ways to unlock the fat-burning potential the body already holds within it. Prioritizing protein early in the day boosts metabolism naturally because it sets off a powerful chain reaction within the body that influences hormones, appetite control, and energy balance for the entire day. When you start your morning with a protein-rich meal, instead of sugary or carb-heavy option, you give your metabolism the exact raw materials it needs to function at a higher level. Protein requires more energy to digest compared to carbohydrates and fats, a process known as a thermic effect of food. This means that from the moment you consume it, your body is already burning more calories simply to process it. Starting the day with protein immediately ignites this metabolic boost and helps you remain in a fat-burning state for hours. Many people unknowingly sabotage their fat loss efforts by eating breakfast foods that spike insulin early in the morning, such as cereals, pastries, or sweetened drinks. These foods trigger blood sugar highs and lows, causing hunger to rebound quickly. Protein avoids this pattern, keeping insulin stable and hunger controlled. By beginning the day with protein, you prevent the hormonal roller coaster that leads to overeating and cravings later on. Protein also plays a crucial role in signaling satiety. When you consume adequate protein early in the day, your gut releases hormones that tell the brain you are satisfied. This reduces the urge to snack on high-calorie foods and helps control portions throughout the day. Protein stretches the time between meals naturally by slowing digestion and maintaining stable glucose levels. This effect alone can significantly accelerate fat loss because it helps you avoid unnecessary calories, prevent insulin spikes, and maintain consistent energy. People often underestimate how much their morning choices influence their entire day. By prioritizing protein early, you set up a metabolic rhythm that supports fat burning instead of fat storing. The body becomes less reactive to hunger, less prone to cravings, and more balanced overall. Muscle health is another key reason protein in the morning enhances fat burning. Protein provides the amino acids necessary for muscle repair, maintenance, and growth. The more muscle mass you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate becomes, meaning your body burns more calories, even when you're not exercising. When you consume protein early, you give your muscles the nutrition they need to rebuild and stay metabolically active. This is especially important as people age because muscle naturally declines over time unless supported by nutrition and activity. By feeding your muscles in the morning, you keep them strong and ensure your metabolism doesn't slow down. Muscle is metabolically expensive tissue, and supporting it through protein intake is one of the most effective ways to accelerate fat loss without extreme dieting. Protein also helps curb cravings by influencing dopamine and serotonin, the brain chemicals responsible for mood regulation and reward. When these chemicals are balanced, emotional eating tendencies decrease and the desire for sugary or processed foods weakens. A protein-rich morning can set a calm, steady tone for your appetite, making it easier to make disciplined choices throughout the day. Many people struggle with afternoon and evening cravings not because they lack willpower, but because their morning nutrition did not support their hormonal and metabolic needs. Starting with protein provides a foundation for stable cravings and balanced appetite. Another key benefit of protein early in the day is its impact on blood sugar stability. Carbohydrates break down quickly into glucose, and without protein to slow the absorption, blood sugar levels rise too fast. This spike triggers a strong insulin response which promotes fat storage. By consuming protein, you slow the absorption of nutrients and keep blood sugar levels steady. Steady blood sugar means lower and more stable insulin, which keeps the body in a fat-burning state instead of switching into fat storage mode. This stability also helps reduce energy crashes that often lead people to reach for high-calorie snacks or caffeinated drinks. A protein-rich morning supports smooth, consistent energy that lasts for hours. Protein also enhances nutrient absorption and supports overall metabolic function. When you eat protein, your digestive system produces enzymes and hormones that improve the efficiency of nutrient processing. This ensures that your body absorbs vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients from your meals more effectively. Efficient nutrient use supports healthier cells, better hormone balance, and stronger metabolic reactions, all of which contribute to faster fat loss. When your body has the right building blocks, it performs more efficiently and the metabolism becomes more responsive. Another important element is that eating protein in the morning reduces the likelihood of overeating heavy meals at night. Evening overeating is a major factor in weight gain because calories consumed late are more likely to be stored rather than burned. A protein-rich morning helps reduce the rebound hunger effect that leads to nighttime eating. With a well-fed metabolism early in the day, cravings diminish naturally and meal timing becomes more balanced. This shift alone helps align your body with its natural circadian rhythm, which favors digestion earlier in the day and fat burning later. Protein also influences digestion in a positive way. It slows gastric emptying, which helps regulate the pace at which your body absorbs nutrients. This prevents the sudden shifts in energy that come from carb-heavy meals, helping maintain mental clarity and focus. With better concentration and more stable energy, people tend to be more active and make better lifestyle decisions, which further contributes to fat loss. Protein also supports gut health by maintaining lean tissue in the digestive tract and reducing inflammation, which can indirectly support a more efficient metabolism. By prioritizing protein in the morning, you create a metabolic foundation that supports consistent fat burning throughout the day. Your hormones stabilize, your cravings decrease, your energy becomes steady, and your metabolism becomes more active. This single habit triggers a cascade of positive effects that make fat loss faster and easier without relying on extreme diets or strict rules. Eliminating liquid calories accelerates fat loss instantly because these calories enter the bloodstream far more quickly than solid food, creating rapid spikes in blood sugar and insulin that shut down fat burning almost immediately. Most people don't realize how much these drinks contribute to weight gain because they don't create the same feeling of fullness that solid foods do. A sugary drink, flavored coffee, juice, energy drink, or soda can contain hundreds of calories, yet your body processes them so quickly that you feel hungry again soon after. This creates a cycle where you consume extra calories without any real satisfaction, and insulin remains elevated for long periods, preventing the body from tapping into stored fat. The moment you remove these hidden calories, the body begins to shift toward a more balanced hormonal environment, one where fat burning becomes easier and more continuous throughout the day. Liquid calories bypass many of the hunger-regulating mechanisms that your body relies on when consuming whole foods. Solid food requires chewing, digestion, and slower absorption, giving your brain time to recognize fullness and regulate appetite. Liquid calories skip these steps, moving rapidly through the digestive system. This quick absorption not only spikes blood sugar, but also fails to activate the stretch receptors in the stomach that signal satiety. As a result, you can consume large amounts of liquid calories without your body realizing it has taken in energy. This disconnect between intake and satisfaction leads to overeating later in the day, intensifying fat storage, and making fat loss feel much harder than it needs to be. Removing liquid calories closes this gap and helps your appetite regulate itself more naturally. Another reason liquid calories slow fat loss is their impact on insulin sensitivity. Drinks like sodas, fruit juices, sweetened teas, and flavored coffees often contain high levels of fructose and glucose, which cause repeated insulin spikes throughout the day. High insulin levels signal the body to store energy, particularly around the abdomen. Over time, frequent insulin spikes lead to insulin resistance, a state where your body needs even more insulin to manage the same amount of sugar. This creates a metabolic environment that strongly resists fat loss. By eliminating liquid calories, you reduce the frequency and intensity of insulin spikes, allowing insulin to drop to levels where fat burning can finally activate. Even reducing these drinks moderately can restore sensitivity and dramatically speed up fat loss. Many people underestimate the calories in beverages because they seem small and harmless. A morning latte with flavored syrup, an iced tea sweetened with sugar, or a bottle of juice can easily add hundreds of calories without providing any nutrients that support fat loss. Over days and weeks, these calories accumulate, often becoming the difference between maintaining weight and continuously gaining weight. When you replace these drinks with water, unsweetened tea, black coffee, or sparkling water, you immediately reduce your daily calorie intake without feeling deprived. Because drinks are so easy to replace and don't require major changes to meals, eliminating liquid calories often leads to immediate and noticeable results. Liquid calories also interfere with hunger hormones, particularly ghrelin and leptin. Sugary beverages disrupt the normal rhythm of these hormones, causing distorted hunger signals. People often feel hungrier after drinking sweet beverages because liquid sugar triggers a rapid rise and fall in blood glucose, creating a rebound hunger effect. This leads to cravings for more sugar, more calories, and more snacking throughout the day. When you remove sweetened drinks, your hunger hormones rebalance and cravings decline, making fat loss feel less like a battle. You begin to feel satisfied from meals, and you no longer experience the sudden cravings that push you toward unhealthy choices. Removing liquid calories also supports better hydration, which plays a major role in metabolism. When people rely on sweetened drinks, they often drink less water. Dehydration slows metabolic processes, reduces energy levels, and confuses the body's hunger signals. When you switch to hydrating beverages like water or herbal tea, your metabolism becomes more efficient, digestion improves, and energy remains more stable. Proper hydration also supports fat oxidation, the process where fat molecules are broken down and used for energy. This means that something as simple as replacing soda with water can create measurable improvements in how your body burns fat. Another overlooked benefit of cutting liquid calories is improved liver function. Sugary drinks, especially those high in fructose, place a heavy burden on the liver because fructose can only be processed by the liver. Excess consumption leads to fat accumulation in the liver, which slows metabolism and contributes to insulin resistance. When you eliminate fructose-heavy drinks, such as sodas and fruit juices, the liver gets a chance to recover, reducing internal inflammation and improving metabolic efficiency. A healthy liver allows the body to burn fat more effectively and maintain steadier energy levels throughout the day. Liquid calories also impact mental clarity and emotional eating. Sugary drinks cause rapid energy highs, followed by sharp crashes, which make people feel tired, irritable, or unfocused. These fluctuations often drive people to reach for more sweet or calorie-dense foods to regain energy. Removing these drinks stabilizes energy and reduces emotional eating triggers, making it easier to stay consistent with healthy habits. With steadier energy, people feel more motivated, more active, and more capable of maintaining a calorie deficit through natural behavior rather than force. Eliminating liquid calories creates an immediate shift in the body's internal environment. Hunger becomes easier to control, insulin becomes more stable, cravings decrease, and metabolism begins to function the way it was designed to. This single change can accelerate fat loss faster than many complicated strategies because it removes a major source of hidden calories and hormonal disruption. Quality sleep resets hunger hormones and reduces cravings because the body relies on restorative rest to regulate the delicate balance between appetite, energy use, and metabolic function. When sleep is compromised even slightly, the hormones that control hunger and fullness become disrupted, creating an internal environment that pushes you toward overeating, especially high-calorie foods. Two key hormones, ghrelin and leptin, shift dramatically when you don't sleep well. Ghrelin, which stimulates hunger, rises sharply, while leptin, which signals fullness, drops. This combination creates powerful cravings and a constant feeling of hunger that sabotages fat loss efforts before the day has even begun. By restoring deep, consistent sleep, you bring these hormones back into alignment, making it easier to naturally choose healthier foods, control portions, and maintain stable energy without relying on sugary snacks or caffeine overloads. When sleep is poor, cortisol levels also rise. Cortisol is the body's primary stress hormone, and when it remains elevated, it signals the body to store fat, particularly around the belly. Chronic sleep deprivation mimics chronic stress, placing the body in a state of heightened alert, where fat burning becomes secondary to survival. This hormonal shift slows metabolism and reduces the body's ability to break down stored fat for energy. When you improve sleep quality, cortisol levels decline, the nervous system becomes calmer, and the body feels safe enough to burn fat, repair cells, and restore metabolic processes. Lowering cortisol through adequate sleep also reduces late-night cravings, emotional eating, and a desire for comfort foods that are typically high in sugar and fat. Another important impact of sleep on fat loss is how it influences insulin sensitivity. Poor sleep makes the body more resistant to insulin, meaning glucose remains in the bloodstream longer and the body must release more insulin to manage it. Over time, this leads to larger, more frequent insulin spikes that shut down fat burning and increase fat storage. Improved sleep reverses this process by restoring insulin sensitivity, allowing the body to regulate blood sugar more efficiently. With better insulin function, the body can shift back into fat-burning mode during the day and overnight. Many people notice that after a night of good sleep, they feel less hungry in the morning, experience fewer cravings throughout the day, and have more stable energy because insulin is functioning as it should. Sleep also plays a powerful role in energy regulation. When you're tired, the brain seeks quick fuel, often leading to cravings for fast-digesting carbohydrates and sugary foods that provide a temporary energy boost. This creates a cycle where poor sleep leads to poor food choices, which further destabilize blood sugar and interfere with fat loss. Adequate sleep strengthens the brain's ability to regulate decision-making and impulse control. With proper rest, you are far more likely to choose whole foods, stick to portion sizes, and maintain a consistent eating schedule. This improved self-regulation is not about willpower. It's about a rested brain making balanced, rational choices. Good sleep also supports physical activity, which is a major component of fat burning. When you are sleep-deprived, motivation to exercise decreases, energy levels drop, and recovery becomes slower. Muscles repair themselves during deep sleep, and failing to reach those deep stages limits muscle growth and recovery. Since muscle tissue is metabolically active and helps burn calories even at rest, poor sleep weakens one of your strongest tools for increasing metabolic rate. Prioritizing sleep ensures your body can rebuild, strengthen, and maintain lean muscle, leading to higher daily calorie burn and faster fat loss. The more rested you are, the more efficiently you can move, train, and stay active throughout the day, all of which contribute to a stronger metabolism. Another factor linking sleep and fat loss is inflammation. Poor sleep increases inflammatory markers in the body, which can interfere with metabolic processes, disrupt hormones, and slow fat burning. Inflammation also contributes to water retention and bloating, making progress feel slower and more discouraging. When sleep improves, inflammation decreases, allowing the body to function more smoothly. Reduced inflammation supports digestion, enhances nutrient absorption, and improves circulation, all of which help the metabolism operate at a higher level. This internal shift makes it easier for the body to release stored fat and maintain consistent progress. The timing of sleep also influences fat loss. The body's circadian rhythm. Its internal clock controls metabolism, hormone release, and energy cycles. Staying awake too late, eating late at night, or waking inconsistently disrupts this rhythm and confuses the body's natural fat-burning processes. Aligning sleep with a regular schedule helps synchronize hormonal cycles so that fat burning becomes more effective during the night. When you go to sleep earlier and wake up consistently, the body optimizes hormone release, improves digestion patterns, and stabilizes energy throughout the day. Quality sleep also improves mental clarity and emotional balance. Fat loss often becomes harder when stress, anxiety, or emotional fatigue take over. Poor sleep amplifies these emotions, causing people to turn to food for comfort or distraction. With better sleep, emotional stability returns, making it easier to stay disciplined and consistent with healthy habits. You approach each day with sharper focus, calmer moods, and clearer intentions, allowing fat loss behaviors to feel more natural and less forced. By improving sleep quality, you support every major system involved in fat loss. Hormones stabilize, cravings decrease, energy becomes consistent, and metabolism operates with greater efficiency. Without quality sleep, fat loss feels like a battle. With it, the body aligns itself naturally toward burning fat rather than storing it. Strength training increases long-term fat-burning capacity because it builds and preserves lean muscle mass, which is the most metabolically active tissue in the body. Muscle requires energy even at rest, meaning the more muscle you carry, the more calories your body burns throughout the day without any additional effort. Many people mistakenly believe that cardio is the fastest way to lose fat, but strength training creates a deeper and more lasting metabolic change. When you lift weights or perform resistance exercises, the muscle fibers experience tiny amount of stress and micro tears. The body then works to repair and rebuild them, a process that requires significant energy. This repair process continues long after the workout ends, elevating your resting metabolic rate for hours or even days. This is known as the afterburn effect, and it plays a powerful role in sustained fat loss by increasing your overall calorie burn without increasing your time spent exercising. Strength training also improves insulin sensitivity, which is crucial for fat loss. When muscles are activated through resistance training, they become better at absorbing glucose from the bloodstream. This reduces the need for a high amount of insulin, a hormone that when elevated promotes fat storage by allowing the body to use glucose more efficiently. Strength training lowers insulin levels and creates a hormonal environment that favors fat burning. Improved insulin sensitivity also helps the body regulate hunger and prevent cravings caused by unstable blood sugar. Over time, this leads to fewer spikes in appetite, more stable energy, and a reduced tendency to accumulate fat around the waist. Another major benefit of strength training is its ability to reshape the body by increasing lean mass and reducing fat mass. Cardio primarily burns calories during the activity itself, but does not significantly change the body's muscle composition. Strength training, on the other hand, sculpts lean tissue, improving overall tone and increasing the body's fat-burning engine. As muscle increases, fat-burning potential rises in every moment of the day, whether you are walking, sitting, working, or sleeping. This change in body composition not only accelerates fat loss, but also enhances long-term weight maintenance, as people with higher muscle mass are far less likely to regain weight. Strength training also boosts the production of growth hormone and testosterone, two hormones that play important roles in fat burning and muscle preservation. These hormones rise naturally during resistance exercises, especially when using compound movements that involve multiple muscle groups. Higher levels of these hormones support fat oxidation, muscle repair, and energy regulation. They also counteract the natural decline in muscle mass that occurs with age, helping maintain a youthful metabolism. As these hormones become more balanced, the body becomes more efficient at using fat for energy and less likely to store excess calories as fat. One of the key reasons strength training accelerates fat loss is its impact on overall physical function and movement. Strength training improves posture, stability, and mobility, making everyday activities easier and less taxing on the body. When you move more efficiently, you naturally increase daily activity without feeling fatigued. This increase in daily movement contributes significantly to fat loss, as the majority of calories burned in a day come from non-exercise activities, such as walking, standing, and performing regular tasks. Strength training enhances these movements, allowing you to burn more calories throughout the day without structured workouts. Strength training also helps regulate appetite by stabilizing hunger hormones and improving nutrient partitioning, the process by which the body decides whether to store calories as fat or use them to build muscle. After a strength training session, the body becomes more responsive to protein and calories, directing them toward muscle repair rather than fat storage. This improves body composition while reducing the likelihood of overeating. People often report feeling more satisfied after meals and experiencing fewer cravings when they engage in regular strength training because the body becomes better at managing energy and hunger. Strength training also plays a crucial role in reducing inflammation, which is often elevated in individuals struggling with weight gain or metabolic issues. Chronic inflammation interferes with hormone balance, slows metabolism, and makes fat loss extremely difficult. Resistance training helps reduce inflammation by improving circulation, supporting detoxification pathways, and strengthening the muscles that stabilize joints and protect the body from injury. As inflammation decreases, metabolic function improves, energy levels rise, and fat burning becomes more efficient. Another significant advantage of strength training is the empowerment and motivation it brings. When people feel their muscles getting stronger, they often experience a positive shift in their mindset and confidence. This psychological boost helps reinforce consistent habits, making it easier to stay committed to healthier eating, better sleep, and regular movement. Fat loss requires not only physical change, but also mental determination. And strength training supports both by showing visible progress and creating a sense of capability. Strength training also improves bone density, which becomes increasingly important with age. Stronger bones support better movement, reduce the risk of injury, and help maintain an active lifestyle. When people can move freely and without pain, they naturally burn more calories throughout the day. This freedom of movement contributes significantly to long-term fat loss and overall health. By building lean muscle, improving hormone function, enhancing metabolism, stabilizing hunger, and increasing daily movement, strength training becomes one of the most effective and sustainable ways to burn fat. It transforms the body into a more efficient, powerful, and energetic system that continuously burns calories, supports better health, and makes long-term fat loss far more achievable. Walking after meals rapidly improves glucose control. And when you understand why this simple habit is so powerful, it becomes clear that fat loss doesn't always require extreme workouts or complicated routines. The body reacts to movement in a very predictable way. When you walk after eating, your muscles immediately begin using the glucose from your meal as fuel, which prevents large spikes in blood sugar and minimizes the insulin response that typically pushes the body into fat storage mode. This means that something as gentle and accessible as a slow walk can shift the body toward a fat-burning environment, especially when it's done consistently after meals that usually cause the biggest energy crashes. Many people underestimate the impact of small bouts of movement, thinking that only gym sessions or high-intensity intervals influence their metabolism. But post-meal walking works with the body's natural physiology rather than against it, lowering inflammation, improving digestion, and signaling to the body that it can utilize energy instead of storing it. As you move after eating, the muscles act like sponges, pulling sugar out of the bloodstream and reducing the load placed on insulin. Lower insulin levels over time create the conditions necessary for burning stored fat, because insulin is a hormone that essentially locks fat away when chronically elevated. When you keep insulin steady by incorporating regular movement, your body becomes more efficient at switching between burning food energy and tapping into stored fat. This metabolic flexibility is one of the most important components of long-term fat loss, and walking is one of the easiest ways to build it. The beauty of post-meal walking is that it requires no equipment, no special clothing, and no complex knowledge. You simply finish your meal, Step outside or pace your home and allow your body to process what you've eaten more effectively. Even 10 minutes can make a difference, and longer walks amplify the benefits even further. For people who struggle with sugar cravings or energy crashes after meals, this practice can be transformational. Instead of feeling sleepy or sluggish, the gentle activation of the muscles keeps energy levels more stable, improving mental clarity and avoiding the sudden drop that leads to snacking or overeating later. This simple behavioral shift can break the cycle of afternoon hunger spikes, nighttime cravings, or emotional eating triggered by unstable blood sugar. When you move your body shortly after eating, you create a buffer that smooths the metabolic roller coaster many people unknowingly ride every day. Over weeks and months, these small improvements accumulate, leading to less fat storage, better appetite control, and a more predictable relationship with hunger. Another advantage of post-meal walking is its impact on digestion. Movement stimulates the digestive system, reducing bloating, easing discomfort, and supporting better nutrient absorption. For people dealing with slow digestion or heaviness after meals, walking can accelerate gastric emptying just enough to make meals feel lighter and more manageable. This creates a positive feedback loop. When digestion is smoother, food choices tend to improve as well, and better food choices support more efficient fat loss. It also helps reduce reflux and nighttime discomfort, especially when walking after dinner. All of this contributes indirectly to fat burning, because discomfort around meals often leads to overeating at the next meal or relying on quick energy foods that slow down progress. Beyond the physical benefits, walking after meals can reshape your relationship with your day. It becomes a ritual, a moment of mindfulness, a way to break up long periods of sitting, which are strongly linked to weight gain and metabolic dysfunction. If your job requires long hours at a desk, or if you spend evenings sedentary, these short bursts of movement make a measurable difference. They help counteract the effects of prolonged sitting, keeping circulation active, improving mood, and reducing stress hormones that can increase belly fat over time. Many people find that taking a walk after dinner helps reduce mindless snacking because it interrupts the automatic routine of eating and sitting, creating a new habit pattern that supports fat loss instead of undermining it. As this habit becomes part of your lifestyle, your body responds with increased insulin sensitivity, improved metabolic health, and more efficient fat burning. The cumulative effect of daily post-meal walks can rival structured exercise programs, especially for individuals who struggle to maintain gym routines or are just beginning a fat loss journey. By tapping into the body's natural metabolic timing, walking after meals aligns your actions with your biology and gives you a fast, sustainable way to burn fat more effectively without relying on willpower or extreme effort. Reducing ultra-processed foods lowers insulin spikes dramatically, and understanding this connection is one of the most important shifts anyone can make on a fat loss journey. Ultra-processed foods are engineered to be hyperpalatable, calorie-dense, and quickly absorbed, meaning they hit the bloodstream fast, push blood sugar up sharply, and trigger strong insulin releases. Every time insulin surges, the body switches off fat burning and shifts into storage mode, preserving fat instead of mobilizing it. When these foods appear frequently, breakfast cereals, packaged snacks, sweetened beverages, fast food, artificial energy bars, flavored coffees, bakery items, the result is a day filled with repeated insulin spikes, each one locking fat in place and making progress feel impossible no matter how hard someone tries to diet. The most powerful fat loss transformations often happen not because people eat less overall, but because they remove the foods that push their hormones out of balance and prevent the body from accessing its own stored energy. When you reduce or eliminate ultra-processed foods, your body experiences an immediate calming of insulin activity. Blood sugar becomes more stable, hunger becomes more predictable, and the sudden cravings that used to appear out of nowhere begin to fade. Without those spikes and crashes, the body begins to operate steadily, using energy more efficiently instead of frantically storing it. Many people notice within just a few days that they feel less bloated, their appetite shrinks naturally, and they no longer feel the constant need to snack. This isn't willpower, it's hormonal alignment. The more stable your internal environment becomes, the easier it is to tap into fat reserves and burn them for fuel throughout the day. One of the most overlooked problems with ultra-processed foods is their impact on satiety signals. These foods often bypass the body's natural mechanisms that tell you when you're full. They digest too quickly. They lack meaningful fiber. They often contain combinations of sugar, salt, and fat designed to keep you eating. This disrupts the hormones that regulate appetite, leptin, ghrelin, and insulin, making it almost impossible to maintain a calorie deficit without feeling deprived. Whole foods, on the other hand, interact normally with these hormones, helping your body send the correct signals, so you eat the right amount naturally rather than fighting hunger all day. This shift alone can accelerate fat loss because it restores your body's ability to regulate how much fuel it needs. And when it has had enough, as you limit ultra-processed foods, you also begin stabilizing the gut environment. A healthier microbiome plays a significant role in fat metabolism, inflammation control, and the way your body processes nutrients. Ultra-processed foods tend to inflame the gut lining, disrupt beneficial bacteria, and weaken digestive efficiency, which then affects everything from energy levels to cravings to mood. Removing these foods allows the gut to repair, reducing systemic inflammation and improving the way your body uses the food you eat. Less inflammation means better cellular communication, better metabolic function, and a stronger ability to burn fat consistently rather than sporadically. Another major benefit of reducing ultra-processed foods is a reduction in hidden calories. Many of these products pack hundreds of calories into small portions, and because they don't keep you full, it becomes easy to consume large amounts without realizing it. When you switch to whole, simple foods, meats, vegetables, eggs, fruits, nuts, lentils, whole grains, you naturally consume fewer calories while feeling more satisfied. Your body takes longer to digest these foods, keeping your blood sugar steady, and allowing a longer period where insulin stays low enough for fat burning to stay active. This extended window of fat access throughout the day becomes one of the biggest contributors to sustainable fat loss. Reducing ultra-processed foods also supports better emotional stability around eating. These foods are often designed to create reward loop patterns in the brain, making you associate stress, boredom, or fatigue with snacking. When you take them out of your diet, you break this cycle and your brain becomes less dependent on constant stimulation from food. Cravings weaken, emotional eating becomes less frequent, and the mind feels clearer and calmer. This mental shift is often just as important as the physiological changes because it allows you to make better choices without feeling controlled by urges. Over time, as your body becomes accustomed to real food, you notice that you have more energy, better focus, improved sleep, and more stable moods. These improvements create the momentum needed to sustain fat loss long term. You begin to see that fat loss isn't just about what you cut out. It's about how removing certain foods restores the natural hormonal rhythms that were always meant to keep your weight under control. When insulin spikes are minimized, your body becomes a more efficient fat burning machine throughout the day. And the results become visible not just on the scale, but in how you feel, how you move, and how effortlessly you maintain your progress. Hydration influences metabolic rate and appetite control in ways that are often underestimated. Yet, it is one of the simplest and most effective strategies for accelerating fat loss. Water is not just a passive fluid in the body. It plays a central role in virtually every metabolic reaction, from breaking down nutrients to transporting them, regulating body temperature, and supporting cellular energy production. When the body is dehydrated, even slightly, metabolic processes slow down because the enzymes and chemical reactions responsible for burning fat and generating energy cannot operate at full efficiency. This means that simply drinking enough water can increase the rate at which calories are burned, and when combined with other fat loss strategies, it can amplify results significantly. Many people fail to realize that a sluggish metabolism is often partially linked to chronic low-level dehydration, which interferes with the body's ability to mobilize and utilize stored fat effectively. Proper hydration also directly influences appetite. Thirst is often mistaken for hunger, leading to unnecessary snacking and overconsumption of calories. When the body is well hydrated, it sends more accurate signals regarding true energy needs, which helps prevent unnecessary eating. Drinking water before meals has been shown to reduce calorie intake because it creates a sense of fullness, stretching the stomach slightly and activating signals to the brain that food intake is on the way. This simple practice reduces overeating naturally without any conscious restriction, and it complements other fat-burning behaviors by keeping insulin levels more stable. Dehydration, on the other hand, can create cravings particularly for sweet or calorie-dense foods because the body seeks a rapid energy source when it senses stress or imbalance. By maintaining hydration, you minimize these cravings and allow the body to focus on burning stored fat rather than chasing quick fixes from food. Hydration also has a strong effect on exercise performance, which in turn affects fat loss. During physical activity, even mild dehydration can reduce endurance, strength, and energy efficiency. This means fewer calories are burned during workouts and post-exercise recovery is compromised. When the body is adequately hydrated, muscles contract more efficiently, joint lubrication improves, and circulation carries oxygen and nutrients more effectively. This allows for longer, more productive workouts and a higher calorie burn both during and after exercise. Proper hydration supports the body's ability to repair muscle tissue, which is essential for maintaining lean mass and a high resting metabolic rate. By optimizing performance, hydration indirectly ensures that all other fat-burning strategies from strength training to cardio are maximized. Water also plays a key role in supporting digestion and nutrient absorption, both of which influence fat loss. Adequate hydration ensures that the digestive system operates smoothly, allowing food to be broken down efficiently and nutrients to be absorbed optimally. When digestion is slowed by dehydration, the body is less capable of extracting and utilizing energy from meals, and fat metabolism can become inefficient. Moreover, hydration aids in the elimination of waste and toxins, which helps reduce bloating and water retention that can mask fat loss progress over time. Consistent hydration supports a leaner, more functional body by keeping metabolism running at peak efficiency and promoting the removal of substances that can interfere with fat-burning processes. Another critical factor is that water affects hormone function. Key hormones involved in fat metabolism, such as cortisol, insulin, and leptin, respond favorably to proper hydration. Chronic dehydration can elevate cortisol levels, signaling the body to store fat, especially around the abdominal area. Stable hydration helps maintain cortisol within normal ranges, reducing stress-induced fat storage and promoting a hormonal environment that favors fat mobilization. Leptin, the hormone responsible for signaling fullness, also functions more effectively when the body is hydrated, further aiding appetite control and reducing overeating. Insulin sensitivity is improved as well since the cells can operate more efficiently when they are adequately hydrated, which supports better blood sugar regulation and fat utilization. Hydration impacts cognitive function, which indirectly influences fat loss behaviors. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, poor focus, and low motivation, making it more difficult to stick to meal plans, exercise routines, or other lifestyle habits that support fat burning. When the body is well hydrated, mental clarity improves, energy levels rise, and decision-making becomes sharper. This means people are more likely to choose healthy meals, resist cravings, and maintain consistent physical activity. Over time, this combination of physiological and cognitive benefits creates a self-reinforcing cycle. Proper hydration enhances metabolism, improves appetite control, supports exercise performance, and strengthens adherence to fat loss behaviors. In addition, hydration supports the mobilization of stored fat through cellular and biochemical processes. Fat breakdown, or lipolysis, requires water for the chemical reactions that convert stored fat into usable energy. Without sufficient water, these reactions are less efficient, slowing down the rate at which fat is burned. Proper hydration also ensures that the bloodstream and lymphatic system transport these byproducts effectively, preventing buildup and supporting continuous energy production. This explains why even mild dehydration can make fat loss efforts feel slower, while regular water intake enhances the body's natural ability to utilize fat for fuel. Consistent hydration is a foundation that complements every other fat loss strategy. It improves metabolism, stabilizes hormones, curbs cravings, boosts exercise performance, supports digestion, and enhances mental focus. By making hydration a priority, the body becomes more responsive to dietary choices, movement, and lifestyle habits, allowing fat burning to occur more efficiently and sustainably. Stress reduction prevents cortisol-driven belly fat storage because the body's response to chronic stress is intricately linked to fat metabolism and hormone regulation. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, is released in response to both psychological and physical stress. And while it serves important survival functions, chronic elevation creates a hormonal environment that favors fat storage, particularly in the abdominal region. When cortisol remains high for extended periods, it signals the body to conserve energy and store as fat, often around vital organs, which increases visceral fat and makes the midsection disproportionately larger. This effect occurs regardless of caloric intake, meaning that even individuals who maintain a moderate diet can struggle to lose belly fat as stress is not managed effectively. Learning to reduce stress, therefore, is a crucial component of a comprehensive fat loss strategy, as it addresses the hormonal barriers that often prevent the body from accessing stored energy efficiently. High cortisol levels also influence appetite and cravings, further complicating fat loss efforts. Stress drives the brain to seek quick sources of energy, often in the form of sugary or processed foods. This is why emotional eating tends to increase during periods of high stress. These foods trigger insulin spikes and encourage fat storage, creating a cycle in which stress not only drives the hormonal conditions that favor fat retention, but also promotes behaviors that reinforce those conditions. By managing stress, you reduce these impulses, allowing the body to operate with a more balanced hormonal environment. Lower cortisol results in fewer cravings, more stable energy levels, and a greater ability to make deliberate, conscious choices around food and activity. Stress reduction also enhances insulin sensitivity, which is directly linked to fat burning efficiency. Chronic stress and elevated cortisol impair the body's ability to regulate blood sugar, leading to insulin resistance over time. Insulin resistance means that the body needs higher levels of insulin to manage the same amount of glucose, keeping fat locked away in storage and reducing the body's ability to use it for energy. Techniques that lower stress, such as deep breathing, meditation, yoga, or even simple walks in nature, help restore insulin sensitivity and allow the body to switch more readily between burning glucose and fat. This hormonal recalibration supports faster and more sustainable fat loss, especially in stubborn areas like the abdomen. Another key aspect of stress reduction is its effect on sleep quality, which is closely tied to fat metabolism. High cortisol interferes with the body's ability to enter deep restorative sleep stages. Poor sleep in turn amplifies stress, increases hunger hormones like ghrelin, decreases satiety hormones like leptin, and creates further insulin resistance. By actively managing stress, you improve your sleep cycles, which resets hunger and energy hormones, stabilizes metabolism, and creates optimal conditions for fat mobilization. Better sleep ensures that the body has sufficient recovery time, allowing muscle repair and fat oxidation to occur efficiently, while also reducing the physiological triggers that promote fat storage. Stress reduction also impacts inflammation, which is often elevated in chronically stressed individuals. Chronic inflammation interferes with hormone signaling, slows metabolism, and can make fat burning more difficult. Cortisol, although anti-inflammatory in short bursts, can paradoxically contribute to systemic inflammation when chronically elevated. Reducing stress helps normalize cortisol rhythms, decrease inflammation, and improve the function of metabolic pathways involved in fat utilization. Lower systemic inflammation makes the body more responsive to dietary interventions, exercise, and other lifestyle strategies aimed at fat loss, creating a more favorable environment for consistent progress. Mental clarity and focus are additional benefits of managing stress that indirectly influence fat loss. Chronic stress can impair executive function, decision-making, and impulse control, making it harder to resist unhealthy foods, skip workouts, or maintain consistency with fat loss strategies. When stress is reduced, the brain functions more optimally, allowing better planning, discipline, and adherence to routines that promote fat burning. This cognitive improvement works synergistically with hormonal balance to ensure that your choices support rather than undermine your fat loss goals. Stress reduction techniques also enhance energy efficiency. When the body is constantly in a fight or flight state due to high cortisol, energy is diverted toward survival mechanisms rather than normal metabolic processes. This can make exercise feel more exhausting, slow recovery, and reduce overall physical activity, which compounds fat storage effects. By calming the nervous system through stress reduction practices, energy is redirected toward normal metabolic functions, including efficient fat oxidation, digestion, and nutrient utilization. Over time, this shift allows for more productive workouts, better daily movement, and a higher basal metabolic rate, all of which accelerate fat loss. Finally, stress reduction supports long-term behavioral change, which is crucial for maintaining fat loss. Chronic stress often undermines consistency by triggering reactive behaviors like late-night snacking, impulsive eating, or skipping exercise. By cultivating habits that manage stress, such as mindfulness, meditation, controlled breathing, or purposeful movement, you create a mental and physiological foundation that supports sustainable fat loss. The body can then operate in a balanced, hormonally favorable state, making fat burning more effective, cravings more manageable, and lifestyle changes easier to maintain over time. High-intensity interval training accelerates fat loss by creating a metabolic environment that maximizes calorie burn both during and after exercise. Unlike steady-state cardio, which primarily burns calories while you're active, high-intensity interval training, or HIIT pushes the body to alternate between short bursts of maximum effort and periods of lower intensity or rest. This pattern triggers a unique response in the muscles and metabolic system, forcing the body to utilize stored energy more efficiently and increasing oxygen consumption for hours after the workout. This post-exercise calorie burn, often referred to as excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, EPOC, allows the body to continue burning fat long after the session has ended. The intensity spikes challenge the cardiovascular and muscular system simultaneously, which increases total energy expenditure and stimulates hormonal responses that favor fat mobilization. One of the key mechanisms behind HIIT's effectiveness is its impact on insulin sensitivity. During high-intensity intervals, muscle cells rapidly consume glucose to meet energy demands. This reduces the need for insulin, lowers circulating insulin levels, and signals the body to shift from fat storage to fat-burning mode. Improved insulin sensitivity enhances the body's ability to regulate blood sugar, preventing spikes and crashes that often lead to overeating and fat accumulation. Over time, HIIT sessions condition the muscles to store and use energy more efficiently, creating a metabolic environment in which fat is readily available to fuel the body both during exercise and throughout daily activities. HIIT also stimulates the production of growth hormone and catecholamines, such as adrenaline and noradrenaline, which play a critical role in fat oxidation. These hormones increase the breakdown of stored fat into fatty acids that can be used for energy. Growth hormone also helps preserve lean muscle mass during periods of calorie deficit, ensuring that fat is targeted preferentially for energy rather than muscle tissue. Maintaining muscle mass is essential for long-term fat loss because lean tissue is metabolically active and increases resting energy expenditure. By incorporating HIIT into a training routine, the body simultaneously burns calories, protects muscle, and improves hormonal balance, creating conditions that are ideal for rapid and sustained fat loss. Another advantage of HIIT is its ability to increase mitochondrial density and efficiency. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell, responsible for converting nutrients into energy. High-intensity intervals stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis, increasing the number and efficiency of mitochondria within muscle cells. More efficient mitochondria allow the body to burn fat more effectively for energy even at rest, improving overall metabolic function. This adaptation enhances endurance, energy levels, body's capacity to utilize fat as a primary fuel source, making subsequent workouts more productive and sustainable. HIIT also supports cardiovascular health, which indirectly enhances fat loss by improving circulation, oxygen delivery, and nutrient transport. A stronger cardiovascular system allows the body to sustain higher levels of physical activity with less fatigue, creating opportunities for increased calorie burn throughout the day. Improved blood flow also facilitates the transport of fatty acids to muscle cells for energy use, enhancing the body's ability to mobilize and oxidize stored fat. These adaptations create a synergistic effect, combining the acute calorie burn from each session with long-term improvements in metabolic efficiency. Beyond physical adaptations, HIIT positively influences appetite regulation. High-intensity exercise has been shown to suppress ghrelin, the hormone responsible for stimulating hunger, while supporting the release of satiety hormones, such as peptide YY. This hormonal response reduces the likelihood of post-workout overeating and helps maintain a calorie deficit without excessive hunger or cravings. Many people find that after a HIIT session, they experience greater mental clarity and more controlled eating behavior, making it easier to stick to nutrition strategies that support fat loss. HIIT is also remarkably time efficient, which improves adherence and consistency. A 20 to 30-minute HIIT session can produce similar or greater metabolic benefits compared to an hour of steady-state cardio, making it more practical for individuals with busy schedules. Consistency is one of the most important factors in achieving sustainable fat loss, and the brevity of HIIT sessions removes a significant barrier to maintaining regular exercise habits. Another key benefit of HIIT is its ability to target both aerobic and anaerobic energy systems simultaneously. This dual activation increases total energy expenditure and improves metabolic flexibility, allowing the body to switch more effectively between using carbohydrates and fat for fuel. Over time, this enhanced metabolic flexibility supports faster fat burning throughout the day, even during periods of rest or low-intensity activity. HIIT also contributes to improved mental resilience and stress management. The physical challenge of pushing the body to near maximal effort builds confidence and reinforces mental toughness, which can carry over into other lifestyle choices that support fat loss, such as consistent nutrition, sleep hygiene, and stress reduction. Feeling capable and energized through HIIT workouts encourages a more disciplined approach to health behaviors overall. By combining high-calorie burn, improved insulin sensitivity, enhanced hormonal responses, increased mitochondrial efficiency, appetite regulation, and time efficiency, HIIT creates a powerful tool for accelerating fat loss. It maximizes results in minimal time, improves body composition, and primes the metabolism for ongoing fat-burning adaptations, making it one of the most effective strategies for both rapid and sustainable fat reduction. Intermittent fasting accelerates fat loss by creating extended periods in which insulin levels remain low, allowing the body to access stored fat more efficiently. Unlike traditional calorie-restricted diets, intermittent fasting focuses on when you eat rather than only what you eat, leveraging the natural metabolic rhythms of the body to optimize fat burning. During a fasted state, the body depletes glycogen stores and begins mobilizing fat as its primary energy source. This shift does not require extreme calorie restriction or prolonged exercise. It occurs naturally when the body experiences periods without incoming energy from food. By extending the window between meals, intermittent fasting enhances metabolic flexibility, teaching the body to switch seamlessly between using glucose and fat for energy, which accelerates fat loss progress over time. One of the most significant benefits of intermittent fasting is its effect on insulin sensitivity. Chronic high insulin levels, often caused by frequent eating or snacking on processed foods, prevent the body from burning fat efficiently. When meals are spaced apart, insulin levels drop and the body signals fat cells to release stored energy. This process not only promotes fat burning during fasting periods, but also improves the body's response to insulin when food is consumed, creating a more balanced and effective metabolic state. Improved insulin sensitivity reduces fat accumulation, particularly around the abdominal area, and supports long-term metabolic health. Intermittent fasting also influences key hormones involved in fat metabolism. Growth hormone levels increase during fasting, enhancing fat oxidation and supporting lean muscle retention. Elevated growth hormone helps the body maintain muscle tissue while in a caloric deficit, ensuring that most of the weight loss comes from fat rather than muscle. At the same time, catecholamines such as adrenaline rise, stimulating the breakdown of triglycerides stored in fat cells and facilitating their conversion into usable energy. These hormonal shifts create a potent fat-burning environment that is difficult to achieve through diet alone, making intermittent fasting a highly effective strategy for accelerating fat loss. Another important factor is the effect of intermittent fasting on appetite regulation. Fasting periods allow the body to reset hunger hormones, including ghrelin and leptin, which control feelings of hunger and fullness. Many people experience reduced cravings and more stable appetite patterns when following intermittent fasting, making it easier to maintain a natural caloric deficit without feeling deprived. This stabilization of hunger helps prevent overeating, late-night snacking, and emotional eating, which are common obstacles in traditional fat loss approaches. By creating predictable fasting and eating windows, intermittent fasting aligns the body's internal signals with actual energy intake, supporting sustainable fat loss. Intermittent fasting also enhances cellular repair processes through a mechanism known as autophagy. During fasting, cells remove damaged components, recycle proteins, and optimize internal function, which reduces inflammation and improves overall metabolic efficiency. Lower inflammation supports better hormone function, more efficient nutrient utilization, and enhanced fat-burning capacity. Over time, these cellular benefits translate into improved energy levels, reduced fat storage, and more consistent progress toward fat loss goals. Another key benefit of intermittent fasting is its impact on digestive efficiency. Extended periods without food give the digestive system a chance to rest and recover, improving nutrient absorption during eating windows. A more efficient digestive system allows the body to extract maximum energy and nutrients from food while minimizing fat storage. Improved digestion also reduces bloating, stabilizes blood sugar, and supports a healthier gut environment, all of which contribute to better fat metabolism. Intermittent fasting complements exercise by enhancing the body's ability to use fat for fuel during both low and high-intensity activity. Training in a fasted state increases reliance on stored fat, improving endurance and metabolic flexibility. Post-workout meals then replenish glycogen without triggering excessive fat storage, optimizing energy balance and body composition. The synergy between fasting and exercise magnifies fat loss results while preserving lean muscle mass, creating a more efficient approach to achieving a leaner, stronger physique. Time efficiency is another advantage of intermittent fasting. By reducing the number of meals eaten each day, individuals spend less time planning, preparing, and consuming food, simplifying lifestyle habits and improving adherence. This simplicity reduces decision fatigue, allowing more focus on consistent exercise, hydration, stress management, and sleep, all of which support fat-burning efforts. Intermittent fasting also improves mental clarity and focus, which indirectly supports fat loss. Fasting periods stabilize blood sugar and reduce energy fluctuations, leading to better cognitive function and reduced cravings. People often report increased productivity, greater motivation, and a sense of control over eating habits, which reinforces positive lifestyle changes and creates a self-sustaining fat loss environment. By promoting insulin sensitivity, optimizing hormonal balance, enhancing cellular repair, improving digestion, complementing exercise, simplifying lifestyle habits, and supporting mental clarity, intermittent fasting becomes a highly effective strategy for accelerating fat loss. It leverages the body's natural rhythms and metabolic processes, creating a sustainable and efficient pathway to reducing stored fat and improving overall health.